Hi, thank you. Before we start, thank you so much for being here and listening to me, okay? Alright. Have you ever thought that a leader could be respected and loved at the same time? It's often assumed that to be a good leader, to be a respected leader, you have to show dominance, you have to keep people apart, and you have to maintain like power. But what if I tell you that one of the greatest leaders from the last decade, they show like demonstrated that with a kind heart and a compassionate approach, you can lead to the success of a remarkable success of a company. Today I'm gonna share this inspiring story of Nooyi, or how Nooyi became not only one of the best not one of the most recognizable icons in the business, but also one of the most beloved leaders that demonstrated that true leadership comes from integrity, uplifting others, and empathy. Indra is a Indian American immigrant that came when she was around 22 years old to the United States. She came to the United States to study management, like private and public management at Yale School. She worked in recognizable brands like Motorola and Johnson Johnson, but it wasn't until 2006 that she became the CEO of the multinational company PepsiCo. Until 2018, her rapid rise from a middle class background in India to a high level career in the United States was, to say the least, very impressive. Her whole career focused on global operations, marketing, and leadership. And her time during PepsiCo was described as a risk-taking action time. She had something like she described herself as performing with purpose. Performing with purpose, it was her approach to transformational leadership. Transformational leadership is basically how a leader traits personalities, help them to create a clear vision for the company, and motivates her subordinates to work towards that same goal. An example of her traditional leadership would be her approach to her response to demand and criticism. People were criticizing PepsiCo by the arguments that say that they were selling overly sugary drinks and processed food snacks that were harming Americans people's life. So she decided she restructured the PepsiCo product portfolio to include more zero sugar drinks, and also include healthy snack with natural ingredients. The company also invested in environmental sustainability when creating their products. This basically was a start of innovation, adaptability, and integrity of the company. This basically updating all these products basically make PepsiCo revenue grow up to 80%, which is a total success for the company. Also, another way that she demonstrated power was through her position power. Since she was the CEO of the company, she hold a lot of position power. And position power is basically described as the power that one possesses based on the position you hold. And since she was the CEO of the company, she obviously have a strong position power, and her opinion was significant. She also demonstrated a democratic leadership style that basically she valued other people's opinions and her subordinates' input, and took it into consideration when taking decisions for the company. Another power that she possessed was the reward power, that is basically described as the ability to reward. Besides all the usual rewards that we get in jobs like raises, promotions, wages, and all that, she also went above and beyond, and also described that one time she went to her mom's house and she saw how proud her mom and her friends were about her being the CEO of Mexico, that she had the idea to write personal letters to the parents of her workers, just telling them how good of the workers they were. And I'm quoting from the interview at Davos, where she said, "Therefore, I'm writing to thank you for the gift of your son, who is doing this at Mexico, and what a wonderful job this person is doing." It was a personal letter for each family member. Any open up emotion of the kind I have never seen. Fig Media 2024. This basically created culture of trust and like freedom of speech and appreciation in Mexico that is important hallmark for a democratic leadership style. She also have what is called reference power. Reference powers is basically the power that one holds based on what others think about you. If like let's say for example that you have like a boss that for some reason in their personal life they're not as good, like they're not very good of a person, they might not have that reference powers on you. But Indra Nooyi, she have a lot of reference powers because people love her inside and outside of work. She was a very traditional woman with a lot of respected values, and people appreciated that. She also did everything like she could, and she also have a kind of heart. And she said that she saw her employees more not just as a number, but a person with like people with hearts. And I'm quoting from the same interview. We worry about buying employees. We worry about bouncing them when things didn't work, but we never focus on engaging them with their hearts. She was a total example of leadership, and she's an example in the business and corporate field. She just didn't like she demonstrated that it is possible to have a sustainable and very successful company. But on the other side, she was also criticized. Some people said that her intent for sustainability looked more like a strategy, like a marketing strategy, than an actual intent for like a genuinely intent for sustainability. They basically accused the company to be greenwashing. Greenwashing is basically when a company benefits from the image of having like eco-friendly like policies, but at the same time they be having other policies on the back that are very not eco-friendly. And a clear example would be the plastic packaging that Mexico have during it, like on her products, and how like much of them doesn't end up being recyclable, especially in developed countries. So like basically they said it was hypocritical to be investing in the environment health, but at the same time be profiting from like overly sugary like processed food snacks. But overall I feel like she have a very ethical leadership. Ethical leadership is basically how you manage power, and how like the moral way to manage power, and how like you do like adequate action, and have good like interpersonal relationship with others, and also motivates others to follow the same moral. But yeah, she was incredibly good leader. After all, she demonstrated she was the first woman, and over top of that, immigrant woman, to be the CEO of a multinational company. And she did all this meanwhile being foreign in a country, and like managing this posture of the new country. She reached that high level career, which is very impressive. And as I said in the basically she demonstrated that if they tell you you can't do it, you have to do it. you so much.